Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida L076508, Georgia 69178, Idaho MLO 208023796, Illinois 031.0058339, Missouri, North Carolina I210940, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's a mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.
All right, I want the attention. I am calling out to all my sneakerheads, my hat men, my Funko Pop guys. If you like collectibles, if you like sneakers, all the Nikes, Jordans, Adidas, Asics, New Balance, if you are digging on those baseball caps, all those My Fitted, Sports World 165s, the hat clubs, all the great styles and brands, we have got them at runawaysoul.com. We have got the best pricing in town. We match those of the big sites like StockX and GOAT and eBay, but we don't have any seller fees. Everything we carry is guaranteed authentic. We have free shipping and it's fast. You're talking a couple of days to get your product. So run on over there and check it out. It's runawaysoul.com and make sure that you use one of our discount codes for even lower pricing. Once again, that's runawaysoul.com.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida L076508, Georgia 69178, Idaho MLO 208023796, Illinois 03100583339, Missouri, North Carolina I210940, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's a mortgage mom.
Mortgage Mom here. Hey, if you're a homeowner, you've probably got some equity in your home. Do you have debt that you need to get rid of? Well, give us a call. Let us take you through that blended rate calculator that I always talk about. Let's determine if it makes sense for you or if you should keep what you have. How do you do that? Well, book your phone consultation. Go to our website at mortgagemomradio.com and you can book your call right there. Once again, that's mortgagemomradio.com. Welcome to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom. And today, in 10 years, I've gotten her in here twice. So today, my guest is Veronica Dasner with Remax Real Estate. She is a local real estate agent here in Santa Clarita, but you are going all over the place.
You know, lately I have been. I've been a little bit everywhere these days.
I mean, you just recently put one in escrow. Where is that one at? Riverside County.
Upland.
Yeah, in Upland. Yeah. So you're kind of all over the board.
I'm all over, especially if it's a referral and someone I know. I will go the distance to make sure they're taken care of for sure.
Yeah, and Veronica is, by far one of the best real estate agents that I have worked with throughout my career. Love working with her. Referred many people to you. I wanted to call Veronica on today because we have recently in the industry shifted a bit. Yep. We went from normal market to absolutely insane, crazy market. Yeah. And then we moved, now down to a little bit slower market. Right. But it seems like we're having a lot of issues where our clients are trying to see homes, they're writing properties, and we're having difficulties with getting the person in the house, getting the listing agent to acknowledge that you wrote an offer on the property.
Yeah. It's quite amazing at this point. It's shocking how many agents don't answer their phones, don't call back, they actually don't even put their phone number in the MLS or anywhere that you can find half the time. I mean, I feel like I'm stalking people to find numbers to get a hold of agents to help my clients out. So it's incredible.
Yes. So a little bit of a shift change. And I think it's really important for the clients that I have or the listeners that I have, since I'm here, every week and I'm giving you guys a new show and we're talking about all kinds of different topics. But I felt like this was a topic that we really need to talk about because we have a lot of listeners that are thinking about putting their home on the market. We have a lot of listeners that are going to be looking and purchasing homes soon. And it is really, really important that you are selecting and you're picking the right real estate agent for you. So that is what today's show is going to be about. We want to remind everybody that this is an interactive show. You can put your questions in the feed. You can put your comments in the feed. You can let us know what you want to know, because that helps us drive the content for the listener to the right place. So remember, we're guessing what you guys want to hear. We want you to ask us those questions to get those answers, to you that you guys are looking for and you need to know. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We kind of started a couple of minutes early, so we are going to let everybody jump on. The weekly text message just went out. So we want to let everybody jump on and get into the show so that we can then get started. We're going to dive into what are things that you need to know? What are questions that you need to ask? How do you pick the right real estate agent for you? I've got Veronica Dasner here with RE/MAX. She's going to be helping me with this show. A wonderful, wonderful real estate agent I can't recommend higher. And so definitely, if you are looking anywhere within the LA area, give me a call or give Veronica a call if you'd like to work with her. She is open for business.
Absolutely.
All right. So how do you guys ask me your questions? You're going to type them right into the feed. Since we are live, we are on YouTube, we are on Twitch, and we are on Facebook right now. So just go ahead and type those questions right into the feed. If you're listening to this show by radio at a later date and you want to know how do I ask those questions, you need to know when I go live. So how do you know when I go live? You're going to text the word MOM to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. Text the word MOM. You'll get one link once a week. So you can click that link. You can jump on and you can join in. So I can see that my dad jumps on. He says, hi, guys. Hey, Dad. Nice to see you on here as usual. My biggest fan. And I have Heather jumps on. She says, hi, ladies. Heather's, thanks so much for jumping on with us. You're going to be some good input in this show today. So everybody stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Institutions and MLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida LO 76508, Georgia 69178, Idaho, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's the mortgage mom.
Mortgage Mom here. Have you been thinking about buying your first home and you just don't know where to get started? Well, book a phone consultation with either one of my loan officers or even me. How do you do that? Well, go to our website. Go to mortgagemomradio.com. Right there, you'll see a book phone consultation and get on the books. Talk with us. Let's get you started from beginning to end. We'll walk you through that process. That's mortgagemomradio.com.
She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call Mom.
All right, so welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom, and every week I'm bringing you guys all of the up-to-date information going on in the real estate and mortgage world. I have got Veronica Dasner, my favorite real estate agent, with me today. Veronica is working all of the Los Angeles area. She's local here in Santa Clarita, but as many of you guys know, Santa Clarita is not very far from the Valley, and when you work with a lot of, vets, fire department, police department, which Veronica does, yes, a lot. She ends up traveling to many, many different places, most recently all the way out to Upland. So if you are looking for a real estate agent, Veronica is your girl. Before we forget, we get through an entire hour show and I haven't asked you. Can you give everybody your phone number?
661-910-1600.
Do it again.
661-910-1600.
All right, perfect. So you guys have that. And if you need it, you didn't catch it, you couldn't write it down, all you have to do is send me a message. You can go to the website, mortgagemomradio.com, and you can go to the Contact Us button and you can send me a message. You can email me, super simple, Debbie@mortgagemomradio.com. You can call the office. So the same phone number that you guys call to opt in for your weekly text message to join the show and do it live with us. It's the same phone number to call the office. It's 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. I will get you in touch with Veronica Dasner so that you guys have the best real estate agent that you could possibly select and work with. And I can see, thank you so much for putting some comments in here. We've got Ann Morrow. She jumps on. She says, I'm here and excited to learn something new. Thank you, Ann, for joining. Audrey jumps in. She says, hello. Audrey, thank you for joining as well. Claudia says, hello, ladies. Claudia, thank you for jumping on. And again, just one more reminder, if you want to be part of the show, you want to see me do it live, you want to ask your questions, you want to get interactive, you have to do it with me when I do it live on Wednesdays, right about 1 o'clock. It changes a little bit, 1:15, depends on what time I'm ready to go. But the best way to do that is to just get that text message once a week so that you know I'm live. You can click right on it from your phone. Your YouTube's going to open up and you can get in and be part of the show. So what do? You text the word mom. That's mom, M-O-M, forward and back, spells the same thing. It's 844-935-3634. So Veronica, I want to do this show because I've been getting emails. And so I'm just going to read one.
Okay.
And the one that I'm going to read actually was sent to Heather. So Heather's on my team. You guys see Heather on the shows with me periodically. She'll jump in the chat. She'll make comments all the time. But this was actually recently sent to Heather. And I'm going to read this email because it was a situation that you and I have been dealing with quite a bit, with quite a few clients that you've been trying to get out there, trying to show them properties, trying to write offers for them. And it's getting it's almost ridiculous at this point.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yes. So to give you guys an idea of where we're going with the show, I'm going to read this email that came to me from Heather, and it is her client. And she says, she sends the email to her client. Happy Wednesday. I wanted to check in and see if you have any questions or need anything from me. If so, I'm always here to help. Thank you, Heather. So great. She's just doing her normal follow-up, right? As she should. And she gets the response back that says, thank you very much, Heather. Pompeia says, now Pompeia is her realtor, to put into perspective, says, says 3, so I'll be praying for the chance for a counter. So she wrote an offer. She's praying for a chance to be able to do an offer, right? Then she gets this next email back that says, and where did I put it? Let's see. Here we go. Hey, Heather, thank you for checking in on us. We're just sad that we haven't heard anything yet from our offer, and Pompeia says the seller's agent isn't responding to her anymore. So we're sad to think that we have to go out and look again. So then Heather replies, oh my God, Debbie and I were just talking about this today. An agent we work with was telling Debbie the exact same thing. So guys, Veronica, I'm hearing it from her. I'm hearing it from many agents that I'm working with. This is an ongoing battle, especially for the buyer's agents, the people that are getting out there and trying to find your client the home. And you're trying to track down the agent, ask questions, you're trying to write offers, and you're getting no response. Right? Okay. So this is happening over and over and over again. And so it's really, really important that you are selecting the right real estate agent when you decide to either sell your home or go out and purchase. So let's break it down to keep it a little easier so we don't end up all over the board, right? Yeah. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to kind of get into, and by the way, Carrie jumps on and says, hey, ladies, looking good.
Hello.
Veronica's very nervous to be here and to be on where you guys can see us.
I don't do this kind of thing ever.
This is only the second time I've been.
Second time in 10 years.
Second time in 10 years I've convinced her to get on this show. So all of your comments are very, very well.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Keep them coming. All right. So let's break this down. Let's first, number one, talk about the importance for a buyer. When selecting a real estate agent, because I think that, a lot of times you decide that you want to buy a home and you don't really know how to find an agent. So you're looking through Redfin, you're looking through Zillow, you're looking through realtor.com. You see a home that interests you and you try to contact who you think is the real estate agent, right? So let's first talk about when they contact somebody through those apps.
Yeah.
Is it actually the agent that has the house listed?
Not usually.
Not usually. Okay. Yeah. So explain to people how that works.
So a lot of those websites, they have agents paying a huge fee to get what they call leads. So if you go on there and you say, I'm interested in this house on Elm Street, They send it to one of the agents that's paying thousands of dollars every month to get your info so they can start calling and bugging you and trying to earn your business. Sometimes they're great agents, but it's not usually the list agents. So
Right.
just
So you're
random, yeah.
exactly. So you're not actually getting to that listing agent like you might think that you are. Many times, a lot of the Redfin agents are newer agents, a little bit less experienced. In my opinion, it's what I've kind of felt.
Yeah.
Being in the industry for some time. I can't say that that's accurate 100% of the time, but it seems like that's kind of the general, right?
Yeah.
You definitely want to work. This is a little bit harder market right now. There's a very low inventory. Extremely low inventory. So where you think that, the homes are sitting on the market for a little bit longer right now than what they were, there's still very limited inventory. So when a home does come on the market that is priced right and is in a price range where there are a lot of buyers. So think, high $1 million homes, there aren't going to be nearly as many buyers for that property as something that's going to be in a $500,000 to $700,000 price range, right? Yeah. So when you have a home that comes on the market that is listed right and it is in that price range where you've got a lot more competition, you really do need to make sure that you're working with the right real estate agent to get that offer accepted, right? So just calling that person that's on that app that's tied to that property is not necessarily the best move. Okay, so we have a couple of comments going on. We've got Heather says, "Hi, Veronica, get closer to the mic so we can hear your beautiful voice." See, don't you love it? They tell us what to do.
Thank you.
Carrie says, "I'm always nervous when I'm on the show with Debbie. You're doing great."
Thank you, ladies.
And they do.
They're always so sweet.
Yes, but they hate it when I make them come on too. So you're not the only person.
Okay,
yes,
good,
yes,
good.
don't worry. Blanca jumps on and says, "I'm sorry we can't hear too well. Speak up, Veronica, please." So Mikey, maybe turn Veronica's mic up a little
mic
bit.
low?
I am
Okay,
very
I'll
loud.
speak up.
I am very loud. I talk very loud. So even if my mic isn't up, you're going to hear me. So Mikey's going to get you handled. He's getting it done. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for telling us. So again, we're going kind of back to if you're a buyer trying to find the right real estate agent. So in my opinion, number one, calling the agent that it says contact now when you see a house that makes it, that you like.
Right.
Probably not the best way to do that.
No, a lot of the time it's not the list agent, and you really want to get someone. A referral's the best way. Friends and family that know someone that they trust and they've used or they know and had experience with them. I always say that's the best way. But if you don't have anybody that knows someone, then look people up, look the reviews up. Look at what they've done. I think that's huge and speaks volumes if you can look and see what other people are saying about agents. You also want to find someone that's in your corner and going to work for you. When you just randomly find a house and that's who you always try to contact, you're never going to have that one person there fighting for you and working for you. So it's really important.
And it is the relationship is so important, right? Because you have to understand what the buyer needs.
Right.
And the only way to understand what the buyer needs is to go through multiple properties with that person. So you can have a conversation on the phone, right? And you can say, what is it that you need? Well, I need a 3-bedroom. I need 2 bathrooms. I want to have RV parking, like whatever those things are, right? But you don't really get to know a person until you walk through multiple houses with them.
Yeah.
And you start hearing them talk. Well, I like this, but I don't like that, but this is too close to this, or I don't want to be backed up to the school, or, and so if you're working with a different agent every time, nobody's going to ever really hit it on the head.
Right.
Right.
And I think it's a learning experience for everybody. I always tell every buyer I work with, a lot of the time they may think they know what they want, but once we've done it together and used a team effort to go into houses and have those conversations, sometimes they learn more about themselves than they thought. Like they wanted one thing, but realized after looking at a few homes and going out and having a few conversations, they realized they wanted something totally different than what they initially thought.
Yeah,
So,
I bought something completely different than what I originally expected to buy. So, I thought I wanted something with some land and I wanted to be out where I could park all the toys and didn't have to have an HOA. And I ended up in an HOA in the middle of town.
We went completely different.
Yes,
direction, didn't we?
because once you start making that drive out to, Agua Dulce and the further areas out, if you guys are thinking, I live in Orange County now, and so I'm going to drive to Norco because I want that land and I want that property, and you start making that drive to go see these homes, you go, oh yeah, I can't do this every day.
Yeah.
My biggest problem was going out into the houses and then there being like thick dust on everything, everywhere. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my OCD is going to lose it. This is not going to work. This is not going to work.
We
I
definitely
think
had to have that conversation when I was like, this is what living out here is all all about. Like,
Right.
you have to get used to this.
Yes, and it wasn't happening. So I ended up in an HOA in the middle of town, right down
Yep.
the street from the grocery store where I
Yep.
could still get my Instacart. Like that was really important to me, was that I don't have time to go to a grocery store, so I
Right.
need to have Instacart.
Yeah.
I'm not getting Instacart out in the middle of nowhere.
No, not usually.
No. So it's really, really important to have that relationship with one person that you're going through all of these experiences with, to make sure that they then get you.
Right.
And then you're helping them
And
to
help you get yourself sometimes too. But
Right. Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely. So then, the next thing it comes down to is we're going to get back to buyers on a second level, because I want to talk about sellers,
Okay.
and then I want to get back to buyers, because I think that we do have this industry-wide issue going on right now that we are facing, where the listing agents, I don't know if they're still wrapped up in 2020 and 2021, where
Yeah.
they feel like they don't have to answer and they don't have to let people in the home. They don't have to schedule appointments, and the house is still going to sell. I'm not exactly
Right.
sure what is up with the mentality of it, but if you're selling your home and you want to get to one of these buyers that want to make an offer on your property,
Right.
you need to make sure that your real estate agent is working for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So
yeah.
I said, come with a list of experiences that you've recently dealt with. Right.
Right.
So
Right.
give me some of the things that you have been recently finding to be an issue as you're out there trying to do your due diligence for your buyer.
Right.
And what are you running into? What's your experience with?
Not answering phone calls, not calling back. I mean, it's gotten to the point where I Facebook message, text message, leave a voicemail, call the office, talk to their assistant, and several attempts, nothing. And it's sad because these agents are leaving money on the table for their sellers. Like, they're losing potential buyers and losing potential money, and it's unfortunate. I had one recently that I called, and we've known each other for years, and I called her just to touch bases. And I have a client that's interested, and the first words out of her mouth was, "I'm taking 20 of these calls, and that's it. You're number 19." And it blew my mind. Like, wow.
Wait. Back up. Okay, so I'm a seller. My house is on the market.
Yeah.
I'm listed with said agent. We're not
No,
going to name
never.
anybody right now at all,
Never,
okay? But
no.
you're listed with said agent.
Okay.
And the real estate agents start picking up the phone and calling because they see the new listing. They've got all these buyers, and they're trying to, this one might work for my buyer. I want to ask her some questions.
Right.
So you pick up the phone and you dial her, and her response was, "I will only take 20 phone calls, and you're the 19th call."
Yeah.
So what happened to the days of, "I'm going to work for you until it's done"?
I'm not sure where they've gone. A lot of agents have just thrown that out. They're too busy, or, don't want to deal. And it's quite unfortunate. And I always wonder, and I highly doubt these sellers know that. I highly doubt they know that their agent isn't answering the phone, isn't taking these phone calls, isn't answering potential buyers' agents' questions. And it's unfortunate because, again, they're losing potential buyers and losing money.
I am blown away.
Yeah.
So on the other side, like if I'm thinking about selling my home and I'm trying to interview and talk to agents to figure out who I want to list my home with, what is something that someone could ask in the interview process to make sure that they're not going to end up with this real estate agent that is answering the phone that way?
Right. I think it's probably a lot of questions. You probably have to sit down and make sure they're going to be working for you, and they're eager and they want to take care of you, in the sense that, see what hours they work. Some agents will tell you straight off, like, "I work 9 to 5, that's it. I turn my phone off and I check out, and it's family time, or it's time for me to go to the gym." Some agents will be blunt about it and let you know, like, "This is what I do." I think you have to ask them, are they going to put the time in? And, is it a full-time job for them? Because some agents, unfortunately, have a regular job, and they kind of do real estate on the side, so they don't have the hours to put in because they're busy at the office doing something else too.
Right. Or working a completely separate job and then
Right.
doing that on the side and on the weekends.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew, wow.
I know.
I've got 28, 29 years in this business, and I got to tell you, I have yet to have my phone off at any period of time.
Right. I mean, I work with a lot of different people, but I do work with a lot of police and fire, and their hours are crazy. So, and I know that. So it's huge for me to let people know, like, I'm going to work around your schedule. I'm going to be available. If you are available at 9:45 at night, if I'm awake, text me and I'm going to call you right back, because we're going to get this figured out together, you know?
Right.
So I think it's important that you look for someone that is going to be flexible and work around your needs and your wants and what's going to work for you and your family. Because not everybody's 9 to 5 and not everybody shuts their phone off. I mean, I don't know about you, mine never stops. My kids
No.
make fun of me all the time because it's attached to my ear and my hands because I'm constantly answering emails or texts or phone calls. So
Yeah, no, I stop actually responding to text messages and emails when I fall asleep with my hand in my phone or with my phone in my hand.
Yeah.
All right, so let's read some comments. So Helen jumps on and she says, I've been considering becoming a realtor just to help family and friends with their transactions. Agents have become very transactional.
Right.
There is great ones out there, but many don't seem to enjoy their work.
That it's heartbreaking to me. And I've said this multiple times, probably to you, my husband, everybody, like if you don't enjoy this business, get out of it. Like there's a million other things you can do. I think this is something you have to love and want to do to be able to take care of your clients the way they need to and deserve to be taken care of. It is a stressful job and there's a lot. So I think some people get overwhelmed and they check out, which is unfortunate. I tell people all the time, you're not buying a t-shirt at Target. You're buying a home. This is your biggest investment usually. So I think you need someone that's going to realize that and take care of you in that manner, right?
Yeah. Well, and it comes down to really where we're seeing the biggest hurdles right now is that those full-time realtors that you're talking about are like you, the ones that are out showing the properties. Really, they're the buyer's agents that are busy. They're trying to find the property. They're trying to get the person what they want. They're trying to negotiate the offers. They're working night and day to try to get this deal put together.
Right.
And where we're seeing a lot of the checkout is in the listing agents, right? Because they take that listing, they put it in the MLS, and then nothing else.
They just let it go. I think that's big too. Like I work listing and buying. I work both sides. So I see both ends of it. So, and I take an account for that in the sense that I know what the buyer's agents are going through because I do both ends. So for me, it's huge because I do sympathize and I do try to answer all those phone calls. And not only that, like as a list agent, if you're not answering a buyer's call, like you could have potentially got another offer for your seller. So when you're ignoring those phone calls and not answering some of these agents that, wanted to write, then you're leaving money on the table for your sellers.
Oh, absolutely.
It's unfortunate.
And if I was a seller and and that's the whole thing is that as a seller, you have no idea what your real estate agent is doing. When you hire them and you sign the contract with them, you are hoping that they are doing their due diligence and they are working to your benefit to get your home sold. And you have no idea that they're not responding to questions, that they're not, that they're not, setting up appointments for people to see your home. So that those are, it like you said, and that's why I was saying, like, what can somebody ask when they're interviewing an agent to take their listing? What are some good questions to ask to try to weed out the ones that aren't going to be working for them? But I think maybe just going in straightforward and saying, are you going to answer? When do you stop answering your phones? How often do you check your emails?
I want updates constantly. Please let me know what's going on with the activity maybe, because again, if they're not telling you stuff and not explaining to you, sometimes they could be lying too. I don't know. There's so many times, which I would never do this, but there's so many times I'd love to go knock on their door and say, I've tried to show your house 10 times and they won't answer. At this point, I'm going to send a pigeon with a message. I mean, I don't know what else I can do to get a hold of this agent. You're
going to have a Harry Potter owl come flying in with your note that says, I'm trying to show your house and your agent won't call me back.
I'm thinking of doing that. That might be the next step at this point with some of these agents, because they aren't answering. So
okay. I can't see, Mikey, can you scroll up just a teeny tiny bit so I can see who left that Facebook comment? Okay, so it says Blanca. So she writes, former real estate agent here. Due to some major life circumstances, loss of husband, out of state moves, I'm starting all over and looking into mobile homes. Some are beautiful. I know some agents specialize in certain areas, fields. I specialize with buyers in particular, but never had much experience with mobile homes, commercial or land purchases. Are there ways to, or what ways can one write an offer that is more appealing to get it accepted? I need help understanding the loan options too, as they do differ. I want to know all the options to obtain the loan to make a purchase possible in my situation. I spoke to Heather for a moment, but got interrupted by kids and lack of call service. So Blanca, actually, I would tell you, number one, get back on the phone with Heather, because we do manufactured home financing. We do not do mobile home financing. And there is a difference between a manufactured home and a mobile home. And Heather can take you through what those differences are when you have the time. When I tell you guys, during the show, every show, I tell you that we are going to give you the consultation. We're going to take as much time as you need. We're going to explain the ins and outs of the transaction that you're trying to complete so that you leave the conversation with knowledge and education and being able to form that plan. Do I want to do the mobile? Do I want to do a manufactured? Is this the direction that I want to go? But it really does depend. If you're in a mobile home park and you're on leased land, the majority of the time that is mobile home financing. We do not do that. If it is a manufactured home, it's permanently fixed to the foundation. And, it's got to be built, after a certain year. So it can't be very old. It's got to be a minimum of double wide. It's got to have a lot of things. It needs its HUD tags. So there's a lot of things that you have to go through to make sure that manufactured home does qualify for normal mortgage financing. But that is something that Heather can take you through start to finish to help you to understand exactly what you should be out there looking for. So that's about it. I can't get deeper than that without actually, having one-on-one, but Heather can certainly do that, and you're always welcome to reach out to me as well. I tell everybody that. I got a call this week from somebody that actually ended up getting Carrie on the phone, and she said, I heard I could talk to the mortgage mom if I want. Carrie said, absolutely, you good in 30 minutes? And she said, yeah, she's going to call me. And I called her and I spent an hour on the phone with her, and so I am always happy to make the call if it's absolutely, you got to talk to the mortgage mom. But everybody on my team is very good, very experienced, been doing it for 20 plus years, and you can get everything that you need from them that you can also get from me. So please, if you guys are out there and you're listening, utilize our services, call us and talk to us. Let us help you to figure out what direction that you want to go in.
Yeah. And as far as getting your offer accepted, it's about your agent and doing their due diligence and calling the list agent and trying to find out whatever info they can, because it's not always about who has the highest offer. Sometimes it's they need a longer escrow, or they need a rent back, or they really want a family living there, not an investor. So there's a lot of different ways you can go about it. But I would always say lean on your agent, and hopefully they can do their due diligence to find out what the seller needs and wants.
Oh, I like that answer. That was good. I dig it. Okay, Claudia says the pandemic screwed everyone up. No one wants to meet in person. No one wants to work. She's so
right. Right. Maybe that's what's been happening.
I need to actually rename this show. The pandemic screwed everyone up. Claudia, that was so well said.
She's so right. And it's crazy because I think a lot of people have been nervous and they got used to not being there in person and not being so personable, I guess. Like, I'm a hugger, and this has been weird for me this whole time. But I will say, even week one of when everything came out, I was out showing houses and I was meeting clients. So teach their own, and I think it depends on your health and what's going on, but I haven't been scared. And I think if you have an agent that's scared, maybe find another one that's willing to meet and actually do their job, what they're supposed to do.
Well, and I think that, I think a lot of people actually just got kind of used to so for example, I used to do my homebuyer workshops in person. I'm doing one this coming Saturday, and I'm doing it online. I'm doing it through YouTube and Facebook, because the last couple that I actually put together and I don't charge people to come out and be part of it. Not very many people showed up, because I think everybody has just gotten so accustomed to doing everything online, shopping online, working online, going to YouTube as their education, right? Yeah. So I think things have changed. And to Claudia's point, I think that during that pandemic, homes were selling with 75 offers on them without the listing agent having to do anything at all. So which brings me to the point of, why, if you're a seller and you're trying to select the real estate agent to list your home, would you list your property with somebody that doesn't have a phone number, doesn't have an email, doesn't have anything on their website for contact?
Right. Or they have an office line that you can call, and after 4 o'clock it's shut down. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I have to do some serious digging to find some kind of contact information, because they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to be called. They don't want their cell phone or direct number anywhere. And it's sad. I just don't understand it. I put my cell phone's the one number I put everywhere. I don't even put my office line, because call me. I'm going to answer. Text me, It's sad. And I think some of the things that we got used to, and shopping online and different things, that's fine. But I think some things you still need to be in person. And it makes a difference.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Okay, Mikey, scroll a little bit for me now. All right. So Claudia says agents are selecting who they want to work with. They want everything to be virtual. People are becoming more antisocial. I don't like it. It's so sad.
Not everybody's like that, I promise. Like I said, I've been in person this whole time, and I'm a very personable person. I mean, most of the time, they become part of my friends and my family, and I call them still and check in on them. And I think we have a close relationship after that. So I think it's sad that people look at it like another number or another paycheck, or let me do the least amount of work I can just
Yes.
to get another paycheck. And that's heartbreaking. And I'm seeing that everywhere in the world. It seems like every industry's seeing that. And I think that's sad.
Well, and the thing that people forget, which I'm going to actually read this comment, and then I'm going to go back up to Helen's. But Blanca says, oh, do you remember the days of buyers writing letters to sellers about their personal situation and why they really want their home? Do you still do that? No, you're not allowed to do that
We're not
anymore.
allowed to do that anymore. Unfortunately, they think it's discrimination and it's not fair. And it's unfortunate because I think sometimes it can be, and people let their emotions take the best of them when they read the letters, you know, like they want to choose that offer even if it's not the best one. So there are times that I could see, but unfortunately they won't allow it anymore.
Yeah. So that part that is gone. Those are days of yesterday's past. But great question. And then Helen says, convert it in real property. We are in escrow right now on Grandma's house. So Helen, that's exactly where I was going. Is, you know, you've got to have the HUD tags. It's got to be. You have to have done the conversion on the mobile, even if it is permanently fixed to the foundation, for it to be eligible for normal mortgage financing.
Right.
So, you know, again, Blanca, I believe you asked that question. Please feel free to call Heather or call me, and, you know, we'll talk about what it is that you're trying to do. Heidi says, hi, ladies. Great to see you both.
Hello, Heidi.
And then Carrie says, I bought my house through FaceTime, but it was an out-of-state thing. I'm sure Debbie thinks I'm crazy.
I've had that happen a few times. I have had a few people out of state and FaceTime, but in person's better. But I was the person showing them every nook and cranny of every crevice of the house. But I mean, if you have to do that, sure, it can work.
Yeah, well, and so, you know, Carrie was transitioning from California to Tennessee, and she does have, you know, children with special needs, and so it wasn't something that she could just jump on a flight and go shopping for a weekend and fly home, and go shopping for a weekend and fly home. That wasn't really the case for her, but that relationship still gets built. So Carrie, even though you maybe weren't in person, that agent was FaceTiming you, so real person, you can see their face, and walking through that property and showing it to you, and then you making comments gets them to the point where they start to understand what your wants and your needs and your desires and what's important and what's not really that important. They get, you know, yes, in person so much easier.
Yes.
But in your situation, that person was still working really hard for you. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So there are times that virtual is going to come into play. People that are getting relocated with their job, a lot of times they don't necessarily have the time to, you know, get on that flight, like I mentioned, and go check things out somewhere else. You know, sometimes time is limited. You know, they don't have the time. But if you can get in person with somebody, number one, I don't suggest that you see the house with the listing agent and go see another house with the listing agent and go see another house with a different listing agent. Select a real estate agent that is going to work with you from start to finish. One thing that a lot of people don't know, buyers don't know, is that they are not actually paying you a fee to work with you. So I'll let you explain that a little bit.
It's kind of wild, but not everyone understands this. And I always tell people, any buyers, I'm free for them. They don't pay a dime. So find someone that's going to work for you and not just the seller. The seller's agent, yes, it can work, but they're initially the seller's agent. Are they going to have you at your best interest? Are they going to take care of you? As a buyer's agent, the buyers do not pay you a dime. The seller is the one who pays the fees. So why not take advantage of that? Why not find someone that's there for you and only you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, and kind of now getting back to the buyer, you know, because I said, well, we want to talk about the seller, right? We want to talk about selecting the right real estate agent for your listing. And, you know, some of the questions you might want to ask is, like we talked about, what time do you turn your phone off? When do you stop? You know, if an offer comes in at 7 o'clock at night, am I going to hear from you that there's an offer and what is in that contract, or am I not going to hear from you until the next day? You know, are you, so I mean, those things are so important, because if you think about a buyer, right? If you're working for a buyer, if you're the buyer's agent, and I get this because I moved from real estate to mortgage for a reason. It was because I didn't want to do what you do. You are working with people around their schedule. Most people, the majority, sleep at night and work during the day.
Right.
Right? The majority. There's a lot of people that work nights, right? But
Right.
the majority work during the day.
Right.
And their time to go see property is after work in
Yeah.
the evenings. It's on the weekends when they have the day off.
Yeah.
Right? So if you are with somebody that is writing an offer at 7 or 8 o'clock at night and you're trying to get a hold of that listing agent because you want to make sure this buyer loves this house and they want it.
Right.
The seller might have something that is going to help the seller that the listing agent knows.
Right.
They need a rent back because they're moving out of state and they're going to have time to, right? Or they need a really fast escrow or this, whatever that the
Yeah.
situation might be. They really want to take their washer and dryer with them. So don't throw that in the offer. You're going to turn them
Exactly.
off, right?
Yeah.
Whatever that little thing is, but it could be something that is really important that could help get that deal put together.
Yeah.
That agent needs to call when you're with the client writing
Yeah.
the offer.
Yeah. Not 2 days later when they decide they want to finally call you back.
Right.
Yeah. Because we could have moved on to another house at that point. It really just depends. But yeah, I mean, I call every single time before I write an offer because it's, again, not just the highest offer. There's a lot of things that go into an offer. So it's important for your agent to do their due diligence on any house that you're interested in so they write a good offer for you.
Right. Absolutely. So with that, we are going to take a super fast break. It'll be like a minute, maybe 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're going to keep talking. Blanca's got another good question for you.
Ooh, okay.
So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Debbie Marcoux, licensed by the Department of Financial Institutions, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida LO 76508, Georgia 69178, Idaho, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's the mortgage mom.
Mortgage Mom here. Hey, have you been thinking about doing some home improvements or renovations to your home? Well, property values are up and interest rates are down. Why not explore whether that's something that you can do? How do you do that? Well, get on the books. Get a phone consultation with us. What do? Go to mortgagemomradio.com and book your appointment right there. That's mortgagemomradio.com.
She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.
All right, I want the attention. I am calling out to all my sneakerheads, my hat men, my Funko Pop guys. If you like collectibles, if you like sneakers, all the Nikes, Jordans, Adidas, Asics, New Balance, if you are digging on those baseball caps, all those My Fitted, Sports World 165s, the hat clubs, all the great styles and brands, we have got them at runawaysoul.com. We have got the best pricing in town. We match those of the big sites like StockX and GOAT and eBay, but we don't have any seller fees. Everything we carry is guaranteed authentic. We have free shipping and it's fast. You're talking a couple of days to get your product. So run on over there and check it out. It's runawaysoul.com and make sure that you use one of our discount codes for even lower pricing. Once again, that's runawaysoul.com. All right, so welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom, and today I've got Veronica Dasner with Remax of is it Remax of Valencia? Is it Santa Clarita? What are they going by
There's
these
3
days?
offices, so they all kind of are together, but there's 3
Gotcha.
offices.
Well,
so
she
yeah.
is with Remax. She is great. She is handling the Los Angeles County and sometimes Riverside and San Bernardino as well.
All over.
She's going everywhere. She's doing it all. And
Yeah.
this is only the second time I've been able to convince her to be on my show in the last 10
10
years.
Yeah.
Veronica is absolutely wonderful. She's amazing. I have never, ever had anybody that didn't have an experience that they enjoyed. She was recently telling me a story that she just closed a property back in September with some clients that actually asked her if she would be ordained and marry them.
Yeah.
So if that gives you a little bit of insight as to the relationship that you need to have with your real estate agent and how important that it is, so that that experience is something that you do enjoy, you don't regret. Please, they're asking her to marry them.
Yeah. It should be an enjoyable experience. It can be stressful, but if you have someone working for you and helping you and you guys work together and it's a team effort, it should be a fun experience.
Exactly. So, okay. So Blanca she's got a pretty long question here. So I'm going to read it and then I'm going to let you jump in. So she says, based on experience, I agree with everything Veronica has mentioned. Can you also touch on some advice people need to hear about respecting their agent's advice and not demand they show them excessive properties in one day or out of their budget? So I'm going to stop there and let you kind of answer that.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that because I think there should be a mutual respect on both ends. As far as excessive properties, if that's what works for my clients, I mean, I have clients sometimes that work 6 days a week. They have that one day and they want to go see 10 properties. I'm all about it. You know, I mean, again, someone that's willing to work for you. As far as beyond the budget, you know, I think it depends. I think some clients do like, oh, I want to see something 100,000 over my budget. It's not worth it because it's not going to work out. And then you're going to love that house and compare all the other houses to that really expensive house that's a little far out of budget. So, you know, I do definitely have that conversation with my clients and we kind of figure out a good balance between that. So
yeah. Okay. I like that. So let's keep going. She says, let me see. Okay. Also be honorable and sign a buyer broker agreement and not waste the agent's time by using someone else after spending so much time. Right. You know, so she kind of goes into, you know, like you said, you know, the buyer doesn't pay for you, right? And you are doing a lot of upfront expense. You're spending gas. You're spending, I mean, honestly, like the wear and tear on your car, your time. You know, you're spending a lot. You really are investing a lot into a buyer when you start to work with them. So I do like where she's going with this.
Yeah, I love it because not everybody realizes that. People think, well, you're meeting us at some houses. You are putting some time and effort and some money into it. And you could be working with other people that are serious or that are going to continue to use you. So it is nice to have that respect. As far as the agreement, I never have anybody sign it because I feel like I'm going to work hard enough that you're going to love me and see the value and want to work with me. I know some agents that do that. I don't prefer to because I want to work so hard that you want to work with me, not feel like you're stuck with me or have to. And that goes for other agents as well. I know some people sign those agreements and then they feel stuck and their agent isn't working for them and isn't answering their phone calls and isn't available to take them to see properties.
Yeah. Well, and then here's another thing that I've recently. So the buyer broker agreement, that's actually not a horrible thing, and I have a lot of agents that do utilize it as well. I think that it's really a personal, whether you feel that it works right for your business model or you don't.
Right.
But what I have seen with those that have backfired on buyers here in present day, because again, this show, Mortgage Mom, is all about what am I watching in the real estate and mortgage world right now, hot on the plate today.
Right.
And what I've seen very recently. It's actually come up 3 times now in the last month with transactions coming through my door. Is that in that buyer broker agreement, the buyer is saying we are going to pay you your fee, and they're putting in the 2.5% in what they get paid, right? They're getting the 2.5% for selling them the property, whether it comes from the seller or it comes from the buyer, they're going to get their 2.5%. So, you know, it was many, many years. I am dating myself, but back in the 90s, we used to take 6% commissions when we would take a listing. It was 3% to the seller, to the listing agent, 3% to the buying agent. Then as prices got more and more expensive and the sellers started to negotiate that down, it seemed like 5% became really the norm, right? So it's 2.5 and 2.5 became the kind of the norm. I have actually seen here very, very recently where a lot of these listings are coming in now at 4 and it's 2 and 2, or they're even coming in at 4.5 and it's 2, you know, and so I've had buyers that are actually paying the extra 0.5% in their closing costs to their agent to cover the difference of that buyer broker agreement.
And a lot of the time it's not that the listing is 4% or 5%, it's the list agent's taking more.
Okay.
So they're taking the 3.5%, they're taking the 3%, and they're offering less to the buyer's agent.
Yeah. So be careful of that. Just be careful of the buyer broker agreements. Again, you know, some real estate agents do use them and they love them and they work out really well. And it does help because what the buyer doesn't understand is that all of the time and energy and effort, like what Blanca is referring to, you're putting the wear and tear on your car, the hours that are spent showing the 10 properties in one day, driving all the way out to Upland from where it is that you live. You know, just the time and effort behind the computer of reaching out to the agents to talk about the listing, setting up all the appointments. There is a lot of work that goes into that. And if you don't close the transaction with that agent that did that work for you, they never get paid. They don't make a dime. All of that they did in good faith, and it was for nothing. And that would be like if you work at a grocery store, if you work wherever it is that you work and you get paid, and somebody just asks you like, hey, do you think that you could go do that for me? Like come in and work the weekend. You know, we're really behind right now, but but I'm not going to pay you for your time.
Yeah.
So, I get where
Yeah.
Blanca's going, and I get
Oh,
why a lot of
absolutely.
real estate agents do use those buyer broker agreements.
Right. And I totally get that, because I mean, I miss my kids' sports games, and I miss a lot of family events, and I spend a lot of money up front and time and effort to figure stuff out. So I get that. But in the end, I hope they see the value, and they always usually work with me. It's very rare, but some people do love those, and if it works for them, so be it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I do want to recap, because we're actually getting close to the end of the show.
Okay.
But I do want to recap some of the things that we've talked about
Right.
before I brought you on the show, because it was like I talked to you about it, another agent mentioned it, Heather sending me an email about her
Yeah.
client, right?
Yeah.
So really what we're dealing with right now is that buyers need to be able to get into your house. Buyers agents need to be able to talk to your agent if you are a
Right.
seller. It is so very important that you are interviewing the person who is going to list your property. You know how much they're going to keep for themselves in the commission versus how much is going to go to the buyer's agent for the commission.
Right.
Because let's talk about it. They're getting your listing, they're putting it in the MLS, they might do a little bit of marketing, they're going to throw it up on social media so that all of their friends and family know what the heck is going on. Wow. Is that you?
It is, and I put it on silent, so.
That's okay.
And
It's all good. It's all good.
Sorry about that.
We're live, guys. We're live. You're watching us live. But
Yeah.
The buyer's agent is in the car, driving the person around, showing them the property, writing the offer with them, helping them to obtain the loan, getting them their pre-approval done. Like the buyer's agent, and I have done both, so I don't care what real estate agent is out there right now that wants to argue with me. Have at it. Call my number and let's have a discussion. I have
Right.
listed homes and I have sold homes, and I got into mortgage when my kid was born because I didn't want to work the nights. I didn't want to sit the open houses. I didn't want to have people in my car. I didn't,
Right.
I wanted to have more of a 9-to-5 job. Now, you know me. There's no 9-to-5 around
She
me.
still answers the phone at 9:00 at night when I call her. Yes, she does.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But I'm doing it from home.
Right.
And so it's just a little bit of a different side of the game. But the buyer's agent is absolutely 100% doing more work than the listing agent. So if you're trying to negotiate a lower listing price, a lower commission with the person that's going to take your listing, you want to make sure that you're at least giving that 2.5% to that buyer's agent to find that buyer, and that your listing agent is willing to work for the lower comp,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's my 2 cents. You can take it or leave it.
No, yeah, no. Yeah. Again, the key thing is finding someone that's going to work for you and answer their phone.
Yes. Answer the phone, have their number on their website, put the
Right.
number in the MLS. It be their cell phone number, not an office phone that goes to a voicemail. They check their emails, they take their calls, they send text messages after 5 p.m. These are all really, really important things. So Joe Vera gets on, says, woohoo, you ladies are awesome. Joe, thank you so much for joining and watching the show today. And Heidi says, how did that work out? LOL. I don't know which one that she's referring to.
I know. I'm like too many
I've said a
lately
lot
that
of
don't answer
things.
and call, and yeah.
We've said a lot of things in this show.
Right.
All right. Well, that is it for today. I want to remind everybody that this is interactive. We loved the interaction that we got today. That was
thank you.
amazing. She says not working late. How did that work out for you? Not working late. Yeah, it didn't. But I'm at least in my pajamas.
Yeah.
I'm at least at home and I'm in my pajamas. I'm not
Yeah.
at the office with a client writing a contract, or at the Starbucks,
Or in your car
on the hood of your car.
405. Yeah. Yeah.
I used to be writing contracts on the hood of the car before there was DocuSign. Before,
Right.
I mean, we're talking the 90s, guys. 90s. I go back.
Yeah.
When the car form was still only 6 pages. Then it
Yeah.
turned to 8. Then it turned to 10. What are we up to now?
I think it's 12 or 16. I don't remember.
Craziness.
Yeah.
Craziness. Yeah.
It's a
so
big packet.
Yeah. So no, Heidi, it didn't work out for me, but I am doing it in my pajamas, and that did work out. So
Yeah.
anyway, thank you guys so much. Helen
Yeah.
says thank you. It was nice to be able to sit and watch you, Helen. Thank you so much for joining. Really do appreciate it. And I want to remind everybody, if you guys want to get interactive, you want to do this with me, you don't want to be listening 2 weeks later by radio and you could have asked questions that you had, you got to do it with me live. So you have to text the word mom to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. And if you guys want to call Veronica, which I would highly suggest for listing your house or if you need to go and buy. You guys need to have somebody like Veronica on your side. You're going to call her. She's going to give you a cell phone number. Slowly. Slow.
661-910-1600.
Do it again.
661-910-1600.
There you go. And if you guys couldn't get it from that, you just got to call me, send me a message, send me a text. I don't care how you get in touch with me, but I will put you in touch with Veronica. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today, and we'll be back again next week on Wednesday. Talk to y'all real soon.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida L076508, Georgia 69178, Idaho MLO 208023796, Illinois 031.0058339, Missouri, North Carolina I210940, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's a mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.